Hey everyone. In this video I want to talk about how the way someone treats animals can reveal a lot about their character. This is always something that's worth paying attention to whenever you're interested in someone and you're going out on dates with them. Try to see if you can get that person around animals and then notice the way they interact with them. If that person is kind towards animals, affectionate towards them, and this is a big one, respectful towards them, then that likely tells you that this person is worth continuing to date, because it tells you they have a lot of empathy, and along with that empathy, they have respect. This is huge because I'm sure you were probably expecting me to say that if someone loves animals, then they're probably a good person, but I don't exactly agree with that, because I've met plenty of people who love animals but are completely, how do I put it, callous, almost a-holes towards humans. It's like they have empathy, or they say they have empathy for all living things, or all living beings, but then their empathy falls short when it comes to their fellow humans. So yeah, somebody loving animals is not a good indicator of them being a good person across the board. So the most important thing here is truly them respecting animals, because if someone respects animals, that tells you that likely they're going to respect you as well and your boundaries, and they'll be willing to give you space when it's needed. If someone has that empathy and respect towards all living beings, that is incredible because it is pretty rare. So I'm sure we've all noticed it. We've all seen times where someone's out and about, they see somebody's pet dog and they immediately want to run up and pet that dog without respecting its boundaries at all. I mean, there are plenty of people out there who just immediately rush animals and want to pet them and give them love. But while that is cute, I mean, it can be from time to time, right? You have to understand this from the perspective of the animal, because animals, they're just like us people. They've all got their unique personalities, and with that they've all got, how do I put it, boundaries of their own. So if you immediately bum rush an animal to pet it and give it affection, that may not sit right with it, because if it's a shy animal or it's a bit untrustworthy of people, maybe it's had bad owners in the past, you never know. You don't want to completely disrespect it in that regard and not give it any space. And in some cases, if an animal isn't trained well, if it really has had a rough past, it could even hurt you for doing that. So it's in your best interest to respect animals yourself and then pay attention to other people who do that as well. People who understand that all animals have their unique personalities, so they give it space when they first meet it. Regardless of what the animal is, if it's a dog or a cat, every animal deserves respect in this regard. So when you first approach them, a good sign that somebody is respectful towards them is they immediately try to introduce themselves to the animal in some form. Usually that's extending your hand and letting them sniff your hand so they can get your scent, because that's how they greet each other, right? That's what animals do to each other. So it works for communicating from us to them. And usually once they've been able to smell you and they notice that, hey, you're probably okay, you're not a weirdo or something, I don't know, then usually they'll show you whether or not they're receptive to you petting them. But if you immediately just walk up and pet them without introducing yourself, you're basically disrespecting them. It's like walking up to a stranger and immediately giving them a hug before you make eye contact with them or even introduce yourself or say hi or anything. Like, most people around the world would be completely weirded out over that. They'd be like, what the hell? Why are you hugging me? I don't know you. You're a complete stranger. What the hell is going on here? Because you're disrespecting their space and their boundaries. So think of the same thing with animals. You don't want to just walk up to them and start putting your hand all over the face and come on. Like, you got to make sure that the animal is actually receptive towards that before you do it. So it's really important. Yeah, I see this so much because I used to believe that everyone who loved animals would all be good people. That's just not true. It really isn't. There are some really mean people out there who love animals. So just the fact that they love animals does not make them a good person. And there's actually been some interesting studies on psychology where researchers found that sometimes when people are really cruel towards animals, especially when they're children, like when the people are children, if they are cruel towards animals at a young age, it's usually a sign that someone could fall on the psychopathic or sociopathic spectrum, because it's just not within us. It's not in humans normally to want to torture living beings, because we understand on some level that, we're all experiencing this unique opportunity of being alive on planet Earth, everything that's out there. So to want to immediately just like torture something, it's not in most people. So that's another thing to keep in mind. If someone is really mean towards animals and cruel towards them, if they make really messed up jokes about like wanting to kill animals or torture them, probably not a good sign. It's probably someone you should stay the hell away from. And I'll leave you with one final thought here, because I know I'll probably get comments about this, but people can love animals and still eat them. Yes, that is a thing. I understand the vegans are not going to like me saying that, but it's true. Someone can love animals and still eat them because, one, they realize that we evolved doing that, so it makes sense. It's a good food source. But also because you can still be grateful for every meal that you have. You can be grateful for the animals giving up your life to provide you sustenance. And I get there's a whole argument of I may not be needed anymore, blah blah blah, but hey, look, I don't want to get into it. That's a topic for another video that I do plan on eventually making, because it needs to be talked about. It's something that there's just a lot of, how do I put it, a lot of lack of rationality around this debate, because it's such an emotional topic, and vegans can be incredibly compassionate and have a lot of empathy, usually towards animals, and sometimes that empathy can fall short towards our other human beings. So yeah, I'll eventually make a video on that, but I'm not going to get into this one. I just wanted to put that out there because, look, someone can be a good person and still eat animals, and they can still love animals, so don't act like those are separate things entirely. It's ridiculous logic. But anyway, that's all I have for you guys in this video. I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you like content like this, be sure to subscribe for more. Otherwise, like the video. That's the easiest way you can help me out, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. But if you want to discuss the whole vegan topics I was talking about, I'll eventually make a video on that, so you can save your comments for that one, because I just don't want to explain what I was driving at in this video. It's going to be a completely separate thing entirely. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Arrivederci!